everybody? Hope y'all had a good couple last days. Told you, boy, back out here. Try to get out here more frequently. You know, you look at things and you look at success rates of others. When I was listening to Joe, JBP, and his intro today was amazing because he was like, yo, you want to know about success? Look at successful people. There's literature out here. There's voice recordings of them. There's all types of things to do. You replicate it just like you do a recipe. You get a recipe after a while, you can make the recipe without reading the instructions. So go ahead and do what you got to do. You can be successful. You got to take that. So next up for me is to grow the network. People don't want to sit down probably for a half an hour, so put these in the little clips and stuff and chop it up, chop, 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 chop. My podcast listeners, they did this what they do. But for everybody else that's not on that, they got to get it in short form video, not long form video. All right, y'all. Let's jump into it, man. Let's jump into this NBA news while we got some. Kobe made the cover of 2K. I don't know if I covered that. Excuse me, y'all. Yeah, and I'm wrinkled. You know, when you throughout the day, this shirt gonna get wrinkled. Kobe's cover 2K. It's like his fourth cover. The issue and the controversy is not that Kobe's on it a fourth time. The issue right now is that Sabrina Ionescu made the WNBA cover when people are like, no, that should be Asia Wilson, and I fucking agree. It should be Asia Wilson. Just because her team won a title and she's the reigning MVP. And I believe she's the reigning finals MVP, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, she should be on the cover of that one. They've only had a few. And it might be safe to say that most of them has been white women, besides like BG maybe. I'm not even know. I have to look at that, but let me know what y'all think in the comments on that one for real. But I think it should have been Asia Wilson for real. Victor Wembanyama is shut down after 2 games of Summer League. We talked about last Friday when I recorded the pod how he played. I said he'll be fine. It looked like he was holding back. Then Saturday he went and did the damn thing and played better. So that was cool. But, you know, he wasn't going to play forever. They weren't going to let him play like that just for the simple fact of injury and shit like that and get him straight. He been on a whirlwind tour. He said, I'm going on vacation. Y'all won't see me for like a month. Then he'll pop up in San Antonio. I'm sure he got the crib and all that taken care of, and he'll be straight. The in-season tournament, I didn't touch on that on Saturday because I just didn't have time to really research it. But what I heard, well, no, they did do it on Saturday, so I didn't add it to the pod and stuff. So 6 groups of 5 teams, East and West. It's pool play, and then the winner of each division make the quarterfinals, and then it's a wild card game of the 2 best records or something crazy. And then you make it all the way through, and then 4 teams play in Vegas in December. So my thing is, I didn't read too much, so maybe this is my fault. Are we adding, so some teams are playing extra games in the regular season? Or is that winning players get $500,000, right? Okay, now what though? Like, is there any draft compensation for the team that wins? Like, do you get a lottery pick? Like, do we make the lottery extend up 1 pick now? Then you get us picking the lottery. Now that would be dope. Home court for the conference that wins in the finals of the in-season tournament, where record don't matter no more. Is that dope? I don't know, but something more than just $500,000 if y'all win this shit. Let me know. Let me know what y'all think. Zion. Talking to Gilbert Arenas, talking about he has to do better with his diet and everything, and he put wisdom around him, right? Okay. You're going to see, young buck. He's like, man, I got all the money. Seems like all the money in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to stay in shape type shit. Like, I got everything. He comfortable as fuck. He got to get uncomfortable. NBA approves a second coaches challenge and a flopping rule change per ESPN. Coaches have access to a second challenge. It's something that teams and coaches in particular pushing for years. So if you get a challenge correct earlier in the game, you get a second one later in the contest, right? But you can retain that first timeout. But if you in the second challenge, you have to still burn the timeout. So I'm kind of lost on that. If you did in the first part, you don't get to burn a timeout. Why in the fuck? And then you're successful. Why am I getting penalized in the second part? Whenever the fuck I used to, motherfucker, man. That made no sense to me. Let me know what y'all. That makes no sense. I'm confused. If I don't get penalized, if I got a successful challenge and the loss of a timeout, no. For the first one, which earns me a second one, y'all telling me I gotta lose a timeout if I use the second one? If it's successful? That don't make no sense to me. And then they got a flopping new rule where, like, the referee called a flop, it would be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul on the team. The team that got the flop used against one of their players, but the team that a cat tried to flop on gets a free throw, but it don't count as a technical for the player. Like, what are we doing? That makes no sense. That rule and those rules, fix it, man. If you get a flop, if y'all serious about flopping, hey, man, we finna get y'all to stop. You finna get a tech, G. You finna get a tech for the flop. But then you gotta, which ones is the severity of the flops, man? I don't know what the fuck the league doing with them rules. I don't know. Guess what? You can't directly view a flop from a coach's challenge. What we doing, y'all? Let me know. Let me know, man. Let me know, man. I don't know. Up the fine, because the fine for flopping was like $2,000, and it increases for each repeating offense. Give them 10 stacks for flopping. They call that shit a day. Woo. All right, now I got to get ready for this one. Moving on. Yo. Northwestern football, what in the fuck are y'all doing? What were you boys doing down there, man? Let me make sure my camera right here. Is this where I need to be at? Yo, what were you boys doing down there? Is it okay to say those acts were gay? They can't be homophobic, because that means you're against the act. The people that was having the acts done against them, could they have been homophobic? I don't know. But can we say those acts were sexual? Fuck, what do you call it? Gay, right? Those were gay acts, right? Like, is it safe to say that some of those players on Northwestern were groomed to like men? So they came out, they suspended the coach, Pat Fitzgerald, for 2 weeks without pay. The university knew everything what the fuck was going on. So, of course, that wasn't enough for the people that was offended and got caught up. So then it got to the paper, the Daily Northwestern, and former Northwestern University players came and told everything, knowing the hazing was taking place. Come on, man. It was a practice called running, which is used to punish team members, primarily freshmen, for mistakes made on the field and in practice. If a player was selected for running, they would be restrained by a group of 8 to 10 upperclassmen dressed in various purge-like masks, who would then begin dry humping the victim in a dark locker room. So wait a minute. So you messed up in practice, and we gonna run you for that. So running you means 8 to 10 of your teammates gonna take you in a dark room, and some upperclassmen would dry hump him. So runs giving and Shrek's list, and they They made list of players who need to be ran. Comment during training camp that was in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and Thanksgiving and Christmas, runs giving and runs missed. Team bonding and all this sexual abuse. You're right. So they would clap their hands above their heads around a player. Like it's some ritual shit like we're going to run his ass. Like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Yeah. They hired an independent law firm at Northwestern, and they knew this shit, and they gave the man 2 weeks. No pay. They now fire him for cause, but y'all knew this shit. It's just now that this shit got out, y'all tried to keep this man. Y'all dirty for that. So they interviewed coaches, staff, current, former players, documents, all types of shit. So not only were they running people, so they would dry hump players. Freshmen were forced to strip naked and perform various acts, including bear crawling and slingshotting themselves across the floor with exercise bands. Strip naked. So we got naked. In a once-a-year tradition dubbed the car wash, the players said players would stand naked at the entrance to the showers and spin around, forcing those entering the showers to rub up against a bare naked man. What the fuck? Upon entering the showers, the players alleged that the players set up a hose that connected to the shower to spray people. It is extremely painful. Player was forced to participate in what he called a naked center quarterback exchange, where a freshman quarterback was forced to take an under center snap from a freshman center while both players were naked. What type of shit is this? Gatorade shake challenge where they had to drink. They would have anti-hazing meetings in the upper class and would tell them if anyone snitch, the Shrek will get you. What the fuck is going on? Man, so they said people mental consequences and all this shit, and people had suicidal ideations, couldn't go through it, people transferred and all that. And not only this, the gay behavior, the gay hazing, the racist behavior. Latino players said they had to act white. Black player alleged that the coach asked the black players, Pat Fitzgerald asked the black players and coaches to cut off longer hairstyles, including dreadlocks, so they were more in line with what Fitzgerald called the Wildcat way, but you know, for good, clean American fun, but they didn't do nothing to the white people with the long hair. One of the players said that the coaches said why he didn't play soccer instead of football. One of the Latinos. He said he was forced to shave Cinco de Mayo onto his hair. They asked him how to clean a dirty room. And the coach said, we know your family know how to clean houses. Like, what? Oh, man. Told a black teammate to stop wearing certain hats because he wasn't in the hood no more. Damn, they tripped. And calling the way he walked the gangster walk. Said he heard a player tell another teammate to show him how monkeys act. Damn. Yo, yeah. Yeah, it was too many instances of the coach involved with the shit. There's too much of a trail of shit. I mean, these people are gonna go through this. That's some shit to go through. Shit, all I gotta say is thoughts and prayers. Shit, man, damn. I'm glad the newspaper did their job, though, but the AD and them, y'all out of order because y'all knew all this and was going to keep this man. He had to go just because it was under his watch. No, I mean, and they said he knew. And he was talking shit. Like, there's a difference between having jokes and being out of line and shit. You know, sometimes people get blamed for shit that people perceive as out of line, which is not out of line. They're really trying to teach. And they get thrown under the ringer, and other people can be heinous like this shit and just get some bullshit happening to them until the real deal gets released. Let me know in the comments. Shit. Woo. That was crazy. All right, moving on. Opinions matter, right? We talked about this on Saturday's pod. They got us again, y'all. They got us again. KeKe Palmer and her son's father fiasco, all this bullshit. All of that shit was a hoax. Did y'all see what happened? You're a mom? No. You're a mom? No. Really, that statement is something you would say in an interpersonal conversation, not a tweet. Then the t-shirts come out a few days later. I'm a mother, though, and I'm Stevie to the bullshit. Who bullshit? We know you a mother. Come on, KeKe. Now, I think the I'm Stevie to the bullshit one was very disrespectful. Miss me. Yeah, I mean, she could put a miss me on a t-shirt. You can't be me, whatever she want on a t-shirt. But Stevie's one of our treasures, and I think that was more distasteful than this whole bodysuit pirouette she did. I'm Stevie to the bullshit? I don't know about that shit. I don't think that shit was just right. They need to cease and desist that damn shirt. But they're great because they got us. Because now we setting the tone. You had Taraji on stage with Usher. You pull people up, whatever. Right? We got Saweetie chewing gum hard as fuck. Did not want to sing. He like, there goes my baby. Like, come on, don't act weird and shit over this shit. Just sit down. You ain't got to, you standing up there, just sit down then. Then we got the Winnie. I forget her last name. But Winnie, who's in a relationship with Kyle Kuzma, Usher came through the part where he walked. She jumped on Kuzma's lap like, you ain't gonna get me. Like, what do you mean? Where's this shit going? Like, Usher, lock up the phones like comedians do, because it's some bullshit. These people are getting attention at your shit. And it ain't even about coming to see Usher. It's about getting attention for me at the Usher conference, yo. Cause Usher is the free king of R&B right now, because we know who is the king of R&B. Kels. He's always going to be the king, but he's the locked up king, and Usher is the free king of R&B. They got us, y'all. They got us. All that shit for this, man. It was a rollout for something. Let me know in the comments, man. All right. Local last, getting on my local shit last. So the sales tax passed for the city of Milwaukee. 2% sales tax would push our shit up to 7.6, and then the county's going to get a 0.4% sales tax, push our shit to 8% in the city of Milwaukee. It went on a 12-3 vote. 4 blacks voted with the whites and the Latinos. We know there had to be some backdoor deals for districts that voted yes. We know that because it's politics. And it's fucking terrible. Like, the Republicans set this shit up where we couldn't put a referendum up to the people. We got all these negative things. DEI is cut out of our budget and all that. We talked about it in the past, but the vote went in 12-3. 3 black people said, no, I appreciate them. My council person voted yes. You know what I mean? Everybody's up for re-election in 24, right? The mayor, the county executive, all the common council, aldermen, alderpersons. So it's going to be very interesting with some of them. Either some of them are not running again, or some of them going to get removed from office. This basically comes down to the police and the fire departments union, who were not part of Act 10 in 2011. They kept their union while every other public sector job lost union control and power because of the pension shortfall that we have. So one of the solutions were to fire the firemen and the policemen that you need and rehire them and put them in the state's retirement system. Like, we have a city retirement system that's down there bankrupt, but we have a state one that they can just go right in and get the same benefits, and we don't want to do that. Instead, we want to raise the sales tax from 5.4 to 8.8% in the city of Milwaukee, where all the black people. Y'all know what this is, man. They want the city back. But they got to get it, man. This is ridiculous, though. You might Alderman Nelson. That's what it might have to be. All right, y'all. Let me know. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you think, man. I can't. That Northwestern shit and the NBA rules been a weird couple days, man. Hopefully these days get better. Get your conference together. Get your Klutch together. Listen to and follow the network on various platforms. Conference in the Klutch.podbean.com, wherever you listen to your podcast. Search Conference in the Klutch. Follow, share, rate, and review is important. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at KITK. Visit us on Facebook at Confidence in the Klutch weekly. Weekly, bi-weekly. Donald Nelson, Dizzle, Deezy, Deez, that's Deez, Don P, Don D, Donrilla, host. Confidence in the Klutch podcast with Donald Nelson and Confidence in the Klutch podcast about sports, entertainment, music, culture, religion, politics, and society. Have a safe and healthy night. If you're listening during the daytime, create a great day on purpose, y'all. I'm out, man. Peace. 3, 2, 1. Confidence on 3 and the Klutch on 6. 1, 2, 3.
Confidence.
4, 5, 6.
In the Klutch.
Confidence in the Klutch.